All right, mate. Let's have a look at this. Now, honestly, I've not looked at this correlation in a long time, but I do remember doing research a long time ago, and there was a real good inverse correlation between the money flow between Bitcoin and gold. So when money flowed into gold, it flowed out of Bitcoin, and when money flowed into Bitcoin, it usually flowed out of gold. Now that's what my memory tells me, and that's what I see. But we'll look over it here. I've not looked at this in a long time, so I'm also interested to see these results and see if my memory was correct or not. Now, of course, you know, there's probably maybe nobody on the planet is expecting gold to go down, especially when we're in this currency crisis. Now, what if all these central banks are actually going to sell their gold? They all bought their gold. What if they all start selling their gold for whatever reason? What if the dollar does start to moon and people want dollars instead of gold? There is a few scenarios that may play this out, or will help this play out. Of course, you know, it's a very long shot for me to put this out there. Now, I have mentioned this pattern probably over the last year. Like, I mean, I've talked about this exact thing over the last year, and especially then when gold done this, when Bitcoin done this, you know, I've still been talking about it. And, you know, it's a long shot, but who knows? The red 200 moving average down here can act like a magnet. And when you run stops at the top, like here, I'll go to Bitcoin. If you run stops at the top end of a range, we have a range here because we already have a bottom end of the range right down here. And gold also has a bottom end of the range. Now, as soon as we fell back inside here, I made a video about this pattern, about how when you run stops at the top end of a range, a lot of times you can run stops at the bottom end of the range. Of course, we went even lower than running stops. We broke through the level. But you know, when we were up here, I made that video in the MartyBoots channel, and gold is right there as well. It doesn't have to happen on gold. Of course, gold seems to be more of a safe haven and less volatile and all the rest. So, you know, that's a long shot. But you can see here, we've popped up and taken liquidity into this wick here. If this flips red, you know, I'm just pointing out it's a concern. And when 99% of the people believe that gold is going up, you know, maybe it's just not going to happen for whatever reason. And to this point, you know, we don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. I'm just saying what I see. If this flips up again and goes back above the green line, well, we have to be more bullish on gold. But as long as we are below this green line on gold, you know, technically for me, that's bearish. Okay, so that's all I'll say. So I'll start back here, 2011. It's really when Bitcoin started. You know, we had some action back here, but none really. So we can see here, okay, when well, both actually, gold topped out up here, but when Bitcoin bottomed here, right, Bitcoin was bottoming, gold was topping out, right, gold topped out right here. So gold topped out here, but we're on here, and you can see right here, gold is basically on its very, very highs. Now let's zoom that out a bit, so you can see as gold topped out, I'll mark the lines right here, somewhere there, okay, Bitcoin was right there. Okay, so there's the inverse correlation already back in 2011. As this topped out, the money flowed out of it, and at least started to flow out of it. Of course, that took a long time, but Bitcoin went higher, and Bitcoin obviously went a lot higher. You can see Bitcoin continued to go higher. So there was the first thing. Now, Bitcoin topping out here. I suppose like this is still all really the one trend. This entire move. So I suppose we're probably better to look at the top of the move. What happened at the top of the move? Well, gold almost bottomed out. It didn't quite bottom out, to be fair. Let's look at the very top here. And if we look here as well, I can't seem to get that right. It's not. I can't get it right there. It's not giving me an exact. It's not giving me an exact thing. But anyway, so as Bitcoin went higher, gold did have a big drop. Okay, and then gold kind of bottomed out. Yes, it wasn't the exact low. It wasn't the exact low at all. But you know, there definitely was an inverse correlation there. Gold is going down, Bitcoin is going up. Now we can see here what happened here on the lows. So on the lows here, well, Bitcoin bottomed out, right? So it may not be a complete inverse correlation. You can see right down here. We'll go to this because this was the low. This stop hunted, so that was your very low right there, and this is your next low. If I can find that. So if I go back here, so right there. So Bitcoin went up. Okay, it's very clear, obviously. Bitcoin is going up, but gold did not really go up. It kind of went sideways, right, into here. So there was a slight upwards momentum, but Bitcoin went up and this went sideways. Okay, so that's, you know, slight inverse correlation. You know, you're obviously better in Bitcoin there than holding gold. So they're you know. So now we're getting up into more near term. Near term is the 2017 top, which is interesting, right? If I mark that right here, and I'll mark the exact same thing on this chart over here. It's pretty close at least. Well, we can see that this was bottoming out, and then we started to go up, right? Of course, this moved down here. Both kind of moved down there. Well, Bitcoin did go up there. You know, you could say Bitcoin went up there, and Bitcoin went up. I suppose Bitcoin went up as well. Not fully, of course. Bitcoin did come down from up here. It was coming down, and gold did come up. Right, gold ran back to the highs. But you know, by the end of this, though, you can see what happened right here. That by the end of that move, that was right here. So Bitcoin did come down, and then it did come back up to a 50% retrace of this entire move, or whatever that is. It's about 10, 11, 12,000. So Bitcoin did bounce back about 50% from there. So but what happened when it did top out? So gold topped out here, but Bitcoin skyrocketed again. So there was, like, there is nothing perfect in the market. Nothing is going to work at 100% of the time. But to me, there is some sort of a clear inverse correlation. Like you can see here again. So this topped out, and the gold did drop down here for a period of time. But in that time, Bitcoin skyrocketed from 11,000 to 68,000. Right. So again, gold didn't do anything and actually dropped some, but Bitcoin was going parabolic. So again, that inverse correlation to me holds true. Now, is it perfect? It's not perfect. Nothing will be perfect in the market, and nothing works 100% in the market. But you know, it just kind of seemed that when gold is doing nothing or dropping, Bitcoin seems to go up, and maybe vice versa for gold. Now, when I do look at this monthly chart here, it looks very, very strong on Bitcoin. This is a very bullish pattern here, and it could potentially send gold into the stratosphere, right? Like, I know I've made that pattern. I've made this call here, but above the green line, we're bullish on gold, right? We need to be aware of that. Above the line, we are bullish on gold. Above the green line, we are bullish on gold. Now, but could we fail? Is this a triple top, and could we actually fail and come down? Well, time will tell. But when I look at this monthly chart, it does actually look very strong. It does look strong, and I've seen some of these go parabolic when you form a structure like this. So time will tell. People might want to call this a cup and handle as well. It's not your perfect cup and handle, but it's kind of upsloping. Not great, you know. It would be better if it's downsloping, but it's, you know, who knows? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Could it still play out? Who knows? We'll have to wait. But below the green line, below the green line there, you know, you have to be considered slightly bearish. And if we get back above it, we can flip bullish again.